Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Deconversion Stories. And today I'm chatting with my good friend Brent, or as he calls himself, Brentley, for whatever reason. But he's also known as Unapologetix, which is his channel on YouTube, which I have linked below. And it's usually some live platforms, just like you're watching right now, where he has people on and their panel chats and stuff like that. And I also have his Wix website, which is down below, his Twitter, where you can stalk him, and also... I didn't put your Facebook in there, but I totally forgot about it because I fucking hate Facebook. But anyway, also have the Left of the Valley YouTube channel there as well, because Brent is involved with that show. So we'll be talking about that a little bit later. But first off, Brent, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome.
Well, what's the weather like down there in FLA, man?
It's hot. It's hot, and apparently we have like a storm barreling towards us. Maybe. Ooh. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't know if
we're in the cone of uncertainty.
Yeah. Aren't we always in the cone of uncertainty? But
right.
I got to tell you, recently I've heard that the Gulf Stream is changing. It's altering.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that could mean some really bad shit for weather-wise on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So and I want to move over to the west side.
I mean, seriously. I mean, just the rate these storms have been. They don't see, like, the past couple nights there's been these just electrical storms that just are. It's just so much more powerful, it seems, than your average storm. It's just, they're just blowing up. It just sounds like explosions going on like everywhere. And
Nice.
that's not normal, like on average. So yeah, it's been pretty crazy.
First hashtag coins. You know what that's about? The hashtag coins? The drink.
No, what is that? I hear it. Like
my phone goes off and it does the Mario coin noise, and my phone goes off actually quite a bit. So we turned it into a drinking game. So every time you hear the Mario coin noise, we put hashtag coins, and we have a drink. I can't drink right now because I'm on fucking anticoagulants. So.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. That sucks.
Damn. I know. So it's water for me.
Well, I'll do double for you. How about that?
All right, sounds like a plan. Great, you're gonna be drooling all over the place.
That's all right. I do double for everybody all the time. It seems like anyway, so it's all good.
Anyways, Brent, you know what I do here. I talk to people about their journeys away from whatever belief systems they were once a part of, and I always ask them to take us back as far as they can remember. Being indoctrinated, how that happened, and how they found their way out. And also, we're going to talk about that Left in the Valley thing that you do. With Kevin and Sabrina, who I'm hoping will jump in the after party with us later. Lots of people in the chat already. Well, we got Canadian Ollieman and Dinobot Full. Hey, how's it going, boys? And tons of mice.
Cool. Hell yeah.
What's up, and Mikey. Mikey can't be here with us today. They actually tied him to his station, I guess, at work, so he can't get out of work.
Oh, man, they literally tied him up, like they just wrapped him. Okay.
Yeah, there's two coins. That happens. One. These are for Ollie. He likes it when I hit the coins thing, because then he has a buck. It's not a big drink. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jeez. Wow. Okay. I've got like phone. 4 behind now.
Settle down, phone, please. All right. Let's get into it, my friend. So take us on that journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually was raised extremely fundamentalist. Ooh. I was homeschooled. I wasn't. Yeah, it was. I wasn't really allowed to talk to anybody that didn't think exactly like my family had to be friends with their family in order for me to be allowed to be friends with them.
Right.
So it was kind of one of those situations. So, and most of the schooling, most of the schooling that I did was like very Christian centric. All the science was like why science is wrong, but then here's like why you should trust it too. Like it was very confusing.
You only trust it when it agrees with what you're saying, right? Is that the thing?
I mean, really, yeah. I mean that was pretty much the way that they came about, went about it, because they would seem to like do science, like regular science, when it came to like chemicals and chemistry and stuff like that. And like, oh yeah, this chemical does that. But when it comes to anything that's evolutionary or anything like that, they're just, oh no, this is where scientists just go complete nuts and they all just decide to agree that God doesn't exist. And it's just, I don't know. It was, again, very confusing, and it kind of, it really took away a lot of the curiosity, I think.
He's referring to the background. Mikey chose this background, by the way. By the way,
Yeah,
the background we've chosen today is because it's ridiculously hot both where I am and where Brent is, of course.
absolutely. Yeah, which is odd because you're in Canada. And I'm a
Yeah, but
Floridian,
dude,
and all I know about Canada is it's fucking cold. But so this is
sure, some of Canada is cold, but I live on the West Coast, so our weather is very similar to. Actually, it's pretty much exactly the same as. Oh my goodness! See, this is where I need Mike.
damn it.
I can't
See,
be going
okay.
back. I know we're going to be hammered by the time this is fucking over. It's 2 more cans. But
I already drink too much, so this is
what is this too much you speak of?
you'll see.
I've never heard the words
Just
drink and too much in one sentence before. Anyway, yeah. So carry on, sir. Yeah, we're just goofing around now. Oh, and hi, Angie. I did see you waving.
But yeah, so that was it didn't leave a lot to being very curious, and so I kind of just shut that part of my brain down, I think, throughout life. And I got really heavily involved in church growing up. I was like the church that I to be honest, the church that I was with was actually pretty cool. It had a skate park.
Nice.
There was like a punk was sort of up and coming, and it was very popular in the Christian church for a bit there. Like there was a lot of
Sounds like that one King of the Hill episode where Bobby gets duped into going to that church with the guy who's a radical priest or whatever. And
yeah.
It's
very similar to that actually, because I mean I gotta say, like, it was a lot of fun. Like we were able to do I did the youth group music, and he was like, do whatever styles you want. So we like took a lot of the worship songs and turned them into punk rock, and made them fast and hard and stuff. And so yeah, it was a lot of fun in that regard. But it was still very just there was a lot of issues there, of course, just with being closed in and everything. And I find growing up that way, it just it just limits your ability to be able to know what's real. If you have an epistemological standard of a talking donkey is rational, but demonstrable science is not,
right,
then you can't really tell the difference between fact and fantasy. So like conspiracies, like I got into all that stuff, all the Illuminati, just what, you name it. And I believed it. I was like, Loch Ness. I was like, Loch Ness makes sense because dinosaurs were really just a couple of years ago, really. I mean,
yeah. The Illuminati shit, I mean, obviously, or at least pretty sure there's no actual Illuminati, but we do have the what they call them, the 1%, like the richest people in the world. Like every country has their versions of that, and they do influence a lot of the things that go on in the world.
Yeah, no, there
talks,
is,
right? So.
Right, and that makes because pretty much when they're like, well, why would somebody do that? And somebody can just be like, well, money, and then you're just like, okay, well,
follow the money, they say.
Shit, yeah, So I mean, as long as that's the answer.
Wish I could. Picking it up all the way. Oh, there's 100.
Yeah, exactly. And so there is actually some truth, to it, but to the level that they've stacked.
Yeah,
it to
no,
is
it's
just
blown out of proportion.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah. So I was into, I just believed pretty much anything. It didn't, aliens, whatever. It didn't matter, and even though that's
it's
sort of
okay to believe in aliens, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, all of the abduction stories and
that's different.
Fire in the Sky. I mean, you name it. Ghosts.
I saw that movie. Oh yeah,
it's a great movie.
I was there too, man. I was all about the fucking paranormal and all that stuff. There's some guy that pops into my chat who's trying to say, "Oh, they've proven that psychics are bullshit's real," and I'm like, "No, dude." And he said he found this journal or something on the Clairvay website, which is the master journal list. And I went looking and couldn't fucking find anything. So I'm hoping maybe because he's saying, "Oh, well, it made it into this, so it must be legit." And I'm like, "Well, just because it made it there doesn't make it legit." How many citations does it have? They'll post there, and the reason they do that is so that people could check it out and then do citations, right? And
it takes time, it takes a minute before we can
right,
see what's
exactly.
going on.
But if you're doing research on this, and you cannot have conclusive stuff happen repeatedly, like you can't repeat the results of this continually, then there's something wrong.
Right.
Something's not right.
And that seems to be the whole crux of this entire thing, or pretty much anything supernatural for that matter.
Yeah.
They can't do any sort of repeating.
They can't get consistency in that at all, right?
No. Yeah.
Right. And then people, well, I saw so and so, and they did this, and well, great, sure. Yeah, that's not really a reliable source for evidence. It's your own personal testimony. I'm sorry, but
it's just not like and that I think that like right there was like one of the things that I just didn't. So I don't know why I felt like that didn't compute until just recently. Last until I deconverted was just the fact that, hey, you not only have to experience something, because you have to be able to recognize that you could have been mistaken and connecting dots that aren't there. You know what I mean? Like I remember this one time I work out at the beach, and I was sitting there, and I swear I saw an alien thing, monster, whatever. And it was like this like thing popped out of the water. It started flying towards me, and then it looked like it grew legs and ran under the bench that I was on,
Oh shit. And what kind of acid were you on at the time?
Totally sober, which is unusual for me, honestly. But that's how I know I was sober. But and it's like for the longest time I tell people that I saw a thing, and like the more I thought about it after actually giving it some critical thought, it was like it was probably a fish and a cicada and a crab that was probably already under my bench there, and my brain just like put it all together. And so I'm like, I saw a weird creature, like, but that's the way, that's how fallible our minds are, that's it's
a crabbish cicada.
There you go.
The elusive crabbish cicada. Watch out, Floridians. There's crabbish cicadas all everywhere now.
Yeah, dude, seriously. Be on the lookout. But so yeah, I was believing all sorts of stuff, and it got me really far down. Of course, at the time it was the right wing, is where most of those conspiracies are. And
Sure.
So it was leading me farther down that rabbit hole of hate and bigotry and Christian nationalism and all that kind of that stuff, and I ended up having some problems at church. It was stupid. It was just a rumor that was like sort of starting. It was about someone else, but somehow I got mixed up in it, and I got relieved of all of my stuff, and all of my responsibilities at church. And so I kind of got irritated, a little bit. And I was like, all right, fuck it then, like whatever. So I stopped going to church. I remained a Christian, after that, for a long time. But I left, and I was like, for the first time, I felt like, man, I can actually like, do things that I wasn't really allowed to do, like drugs. And
we said you weren't allowed. You may not have been allowed, but there was nothing keeping you from doing it.
Well, I think my own mind, like at the time I was so angry that like I was just like, fuck it, I can do this now, like, and not totally torture myself like I would have a month ago. You know what I mean?
Here's the explanation for that creature you saw. The Tangeloans, they like to pop into my chat every once in a while.
Oh man. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was you. Glad that clarification is there.
Stop looking so goddamn creepy at Tangeloans.
Yeah, man. And quit changing it. Like you can't fly and swim and have spider like that. You can't do that. Like
science,
fucking bitches. Weirdos.
Let me just adjust. I got like a gazillion fucking fans here. A little Arctic Air fan and fucking Bayan Air fan. And
I don't blame you because you probably don't have AC there, do you?
Well, the little Arctic Air is like a little swamp cooler. So I just dump ice water in it and it pumps out cold air for a little while.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. No problem. I get it.
It's this tiny little guy here. It's pretty cute. You've probably seen it advertised.
Oh, wow. That's quite small. Okay. I was like picturing one of those little R2 unit looking things that sit in your corner.
Oh, yeah, like the Noma ones?
Yeah, yeah.
You just throw some water in this little bastard and ice in the top here, and it pumps out cold air.
That's clever. That's a clever little gizmo.
Yeah.
I like that.
Except I'm spilling the fucking water everywhere.
No, yeah.
It's all right. I need to mop my floor.
Right. There you go. Now you got a reason.
Yeah.
But, so I just, getting into all that stuff. and you know, and kind of, you know, going from that place, you know, I got into drug, and I didn't know how to relate. That was the other thing, is I didn't know how to relate to anybody. Once the church decides that you did something, you know, and you're kind of non-apologetic about it because it wasn't true, first of all, you know, and second of all, I was like, of course I'm pissed about it, you know, like, you guys are saying I did something I didn't fucking do, you know. And so I kind of booked it for a bit, you know, and was like just trying to get to know other people and stuff. So I started hanging out with some people from work. I worked at Chuck E. Cheese at the time. For 4 years I worked there.
I still like that pizza. It's shitty pizza, but it's so something
It's
about it. I
good.
think it's the sauce, right? It's got to be the sauce.
I think so. Honestly, they do have a unique sauce, and it's pretty good. Like, I mean, I always felt like it depended on who made it, you know, because like sometimes I had it where I was like, oh, this sucks. But like if I went back and made it, it was top notch.
Primo. Little extra garlic, little extra salt.
That, dude, garlic is the key.
Oh,
but
fuck.
it's always the key. But so I started hanging out with these people, and just, you know, I told them like, yeah, I'm a Christian and everything, but like, you know, I'm kind of just not really living like it or whatever. You know, that was sort of what I kept saying to everybody, like, I'm gonna get right eventually, you know, but right now I'm just really upset. And so and I didn't really know how to relate to people. And I think that the drug culture and stuff is a way to kind of relate to people that you don't know very well. You know, it's just something to do, you know, because I was so used to just doing stuff every night. I was at church every single night, you know, playing guitar and doing all this stuff and leading Bible studies and leading. So all that stops. And then you're just kind of like,
now what?
Right. Yeah. So at that point I was just like, let me just do the stuff that I'm not supposed to do, you know, that I know that I'm not supposed to do. But I just, you know, I never got to even try this stuff. I'm like 18 at this point. You know, everybody else has already been doing this stuff since they were 13. And so I, you know,
starting young over there. What the hell?
Most people that I talked to when I was going through that whole thing was like, when did you start? They're like, yeah, I had my first, you know, pill at 13. I was like, what? You had a first pill at 13? Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right. So, you know, I got into that, and of course it like led to issues with my family and everything. And, you know, I ended up getting kicked out and was homeless at the one point for quite a while. For about a year or so. I didn't have
that was their solution.
Yeah.
Kick you out of the house rather than try to help you. They figured to kick them out.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
thanks, fam.
Yeah, and to be fair, I was a mess, so like I don't want to get too much on their side, like it, but it was an extreme, I think, reaction to what was going on.
Yeah, you heard it. There you go.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna hear it. But
dialed in.
But yeah, so you know, I was homeless for a while, and ended up going to different.
Go live with the cicada fish crab thing.
Right, they'd probably have a nice spaceship for me, you know, very spacious, eclectic.
Spacious. I see what you did there.
But yeah, so then I ended up like finally after where was I? Oh yeah. Got kicked. Oh yeah, I went to the shelters. Stayed, yeah, and it was all like, you know, most of the shelters in my area that I could find were religious, and one of them was just terrible. Like, it was just full of bed bugs, and just they wanted to take your credit card, they wanted to take all your money, and they ended up getting shut down because of they were taking the money from the homeless people, and they weren't paying any. They weren't doing their taxes right, or some sort of tax thing, but they were stealing from homeless people, which is crazy to me. They would have them work and then collect the money for them, right? And then not give them the money. They were like, oh, you know, we give you $20 per week. And they were claiming that they were saving that money for you so that you could move out, but that you could never move out. They would just keep you, you know, in this cycle or whatever. You know, it was really sick, honestly. Like, that's as low as you go, stealing from homeless people. I don't know how you get any worse than that. So I ended up, leaving there. I moved out with a couple of the guys that were there, and they were super Christian. And like, I was like, oh no, these are solid dudes, man. Like getting out with them. And then finally, when I got out with from them, and they got out from that like little umbrella, I guess, of like authority or whatever, it just was crazy. Like out of that, yeah, like hookers coming over and just like crack was everything. It just went nuts. Like it just went crazy. I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. So I ended up finding another one. And it was not too. It was better than that one. It was more of a halfway house sort of thing. But yeah, ended up getting out of there and finally getting a place. And so my brother was like, "Dude, just fuck the rest of the family. Come live with me, man. It's fine." And from there, I met Nikki, my girlfriend, and we started talking about just stuff. And she never like was too harsh about it. She just asked me like how I know things a lot. And that was, I think, one of the first things that got me kind of going.
Was Nikki a non-believer?
She wasn't. She was a non-believer. She wouldn't use the word atheist at the time. She does now.
Sure. You don't have to.
Right. But at the time she was just like, I'm agnostic,
Sure.
Not, But yeah, she would just ask a lot of questions, and it was more just like, how do you know this? Or what about that? And, just like little things, that would kind of throw a wrench in my.
She's using epistemology tactics on you.
Yeah, she really was. She was using like the street epistemology, because she didn't want to upset me. Like I think she knew that I was a decent dude. I just was very confused,
Well, you shared in a belief that was given to you by your family, right? Your upbringing. So it's not, I don't really consider that to be delusional, so to speak. It's just because you trust people, right? You trust your family, you trust your friends that are involved in that. They believe it, so you believe it, right? So, but
and you don't feel like they would have a reason to lie to you, right?
Right. But they don't view it as lies either, right?
Right. It's just them. They could be mistaken about a thing and then tell you about the mistaken thing, and that's sort of how it just.
Oh, I've been there before.
You're right. So, yeah, and so that was very helpful. She got me into podcasts. She was like, because I was listening to a lot of music at work, and I was just like, dude, I'm getting sick of just listening because I listen to a very specific kind of music, and the songs are short, man. They're like usually like 2 minutes long. That's a long song for most punk band, So you kind of I would end up just cycling through a lot of the same shit. And
there's a reason for that,
Right.
It's such high energy each song that usually after the 2 minutes they're pooped.
Right.
So we're gonna 5-minute break and we'll do another one.
You got to give the drummer a break, man. That dude. He's cooked at that point. Like,
Cool fact. Another punk band, local from here, Vancouver, actually now from Vancouver Island. They're called Dayglow Abortions. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them.
Oh, no. I've heard
their current drummer is blind.
Oh, wow.
They set up his drum kit the way he likes it, and he reaches out and he feels where everything is, and then he just fucking goes to town. It's amazing to watch.
That's awesome.
And when you get him to autograph stuff, he autographs it in Braille. He like puts the little dots on there and stuff. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's like really cool. Anyway,
that's badass. I'm gonna have to check them out. But yeah, shit, I forgot.
The best album to start with would be "Feed Us a Fetus."
Fetus a fetus.
Yeah, feed us a fetus.
Nice. Okay, good. I was hoping that's what it meant. That's great.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, no, so she like told me, she was like, you should listen to podcasts, like download Stitcher and then just, try to find something. She's like, there's just millions of shit out there,
Oh yeah.
And I put in comedy. I like listening to I figured, I could laugh at work, right? And just be listening to that. And came across God Awful Movies, and I recognized all the movies. Because I was like, oh wait, I because it came on, and I was like, I remember it was the Bible Man episode with Seth Andrews that first came on, and I was like, I remember Bible Man, that's awesome. And I was like, oh, an atheist review, well, whatever, it's comedy, I'll get past it, it'll be fine, And
that was fucking funny, tons.
Oh man, and it's just so funny, and it was like, I feel like I knew. at the time, even when I was a Christian, like watching these movies, growing up and everything, I knew that movies were terrible. I knew it. We all knew it. You
Come
know,
on, Bible Man is classic.
like, oh my God, Bible Man was so bad.
Oh,
But it's like
bad doesn't even. I think that's being too kind to it.
like even that was one that even I think most of us wouldn't watch. Honestly, like we'd give that to 10-year-olds,
Veggie Tales,
but the parents
like,
would leave the Veggie Tale. Yes. Oh man. But we knew it was terrible, and it was funny though because it was like you put up with that because you felt like you were doing something good when you watched that. You're like, hey, I'm watching a movie, and I'm doing something good for my soul right now too. Like that makes up for it.
That non-existent soul. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like sort of the mind, like that's why you put up with that shit. I think you know what I mean. In your head, you're like, well, at least I'm doing like what I think is the right thing to do, whatever. But to listen to that show, and when they really started breaking down like why these movies are harmful, and it was more about the the different plot lines in the movie that were harmful and were kind of like pushing really harmful agendas, and they really kind of broke down exactly why those agendas are harmful and like what those agendas can lead to as far as like your average person. I mean, some of them were like telling abusive people in abusive relationships that they should stay in those abusive relationships and things like that.
Mhm.
And having watched that movie, I didn't even.
Horrifying, by the way.
It's disgusting. Yeah, it's
it is.
absolutely disgusting. And it's like, but when you're a Christian, you're watching it, you're just kind of like blinded by the Christian message, and you're like, the Christian message is more important than that aspect of it, and you're kind of just
your
not
own
even
mental well-being or physical well-being,
right.
Yeah, like,
yo, you got to put that all aside for Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck that shit.
And that shit really hammered in my head, man. And yeah, it really, it kind of broke me down. Like, and it didn't take me long. Once I started to realize this stuff, I feel like it took maybe like, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm an atheist, dude." Like, like it did not take me long to just be like, "Damn, I'm not with this." Like
it's funny. It's because it's sometimes that's the way it happens. Like, just all of a sudden you're watching all this stuff because you're now with some girl that putting you onto all this, and then all of a sudden the dominoes just start going, right?
Yeah.
Like, wow, the way this guy's explaining makes way more fucking sense than the way my pastor, minister, etc. explains stuff to me.
Yeah. And I used to always say, like, hey, man, my pastor's been studying this stuff his entire life. You think he hasn't thought of that? Turns out he hasn't. He hasn't thought of that. Most of them haven't thought of that. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. They haven't thought of it. Like, that's
or at least put any serious thought into it.
Mm. Not without like serious confirmation bias behind it,
Oh yeah, of course.
It's,
you say that, and I'm running into a sort of a little situation too, where people I know that are like anti-vaxxer type people.
Yeah.
And you tell them, "Oh, fuck, look this shit up, man. Go and look at the actual science." Oh, I don't trust science. What? You're telling me that over something that a scientist invented. You realize? Right. You're telling me this over a cell phone or a computer or and why don't you jump in your vehicle, which was also invented by science, and come on down here after you take something out of the microwave, which was also invented by science, and watching your favorite shows on the TV that was also invented by science. Like, what the fuck? You don't trust science?
Right.
Really?
Come on. And they'll go to the hospital for like stuff, like, and that's what I just saw a video the other day. I thought it was really good where he's saying like, hey, if you really don't trust the science about these vaccines, then you don't trust the science enough to go to the fucking hospital if you get sick. Right. Stay the fuck out of the hospital.
Don't and I was those like, aspirins. Don't trust those Tylenols. Don't trust all that shit that you don't let them put that blood pressure thing on you. Holy fuck.
Right. Who knows? You could be putting demons in you. They don't know. They could be chipping you right there. Right. It was Loving the Bad Man. You're absolutely right. Hellbound Hillbilly. You're absolutely right. That was it. Yep. I remember that one.
Yeah, it's these fucking whiners about they don't trust science or medical science. It's like, then fucking go live in a cave, you troglodyte motherfucker.
Right. Oh, like nothing, not like even religion as far as like Christianity and stuff like that. None of that pisses me off as much as anti-vax shit does, because it's like your purpose, like you're really putting people in harm's way on purpose because you think you know something that you're really just misunderstanding very loudly, which is most of conspiracy theories, honestly, is just misunderstanding a tiny fact very loudly, and they get really upset about it.
They seem to. I mean, was it Neil deGrasse Tyson had something that he spoke about personal truth, and said personal truth is fine. I mean, if it's what gets you through the day, it's okay to have personal truth. But is your personal truth objectively true?
Right.
That's what science is for, to figure out if some of these personal truths that we have are objectively true. And objectively true means that it can be understood by or discovered or understood or evidenced by multiple people that check it out, and everyone comes to the same conclusion. So they're that's an objective truth, an objective reality.
Right. And a personal truth, like I'm honestly fine with, like, if people like have a personal truth that maybe somebody might disagree with, as long as it's about them and their feelings and the way they understand themselves, I'm fine with it. I honestly don't care.
That lends into the anti-vaccine though, because they have these feelings about the vaccinations. It's like, well, do you know what's in a fucking vaccination? Do you know where it started? How it,
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I mean, like, more like, but that can be tested, and we can see if they're actually, because they're misunderstanding data that affects. They're talking about vaccines that multiple people have taken and are fine. I'm talking about, like, if you have a personal truth about yourself that you believe about yourself, like, I feel this way, and that's why I should be, who I am or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fine with that. But it's when you start talking about objective truth, that it's like something that you can demonstrate, or something that you can
that anyone can,
that you can test,
always get the same result.
Exactly. Yeah, that affects other people. If it only affects you and your existence, you believe whatever you want about. Like, I don't care, what I mean? But like once you start
harm
saying,
anybody, that's all.
Yeah,
an anti-vaccine can do that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I know that you like
Daniel.
Yeah, because them not getting vaccinated affects other people, so that's and them not vaccinating their children affects other people. So it's 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 a fractal of terrible.
So the troglodyte motherfuckers in the chat already. Okay, call when you're coming. Need to clean up the cave.
Yeah.
We go over and we sit and we chip stories into some rock with some. Like the fucking Flintstones.
That's right.
I had something else to say. I just actually watched. You've got all these people, like even on TikTok, where they go and they spread misinformation bullshit. Oh, don't drink diet soda because it's got this chemical. It's got this chemical. It's got this chemical. And an actual, I can't remember what her occupation was, but she was in chemistry or something like myself. And she comes and goes, "Yeah, it's got all these chemicals." And she's drinking like a diet Pepsi. And she puts the Pepsi down. She goes, "By the way, the first chemical you mentioned, I can't remember them off the top of my head." She goes, "There's 10 times the amount in a tomato." She goes, "Oh, and that second chemical you mentioned, there's 5 times that amount in an egg." And then she kept going on about all these different chemicals that are so bad for you that just happen to be in everyday fucking food. Right. But people hear sciencey words that are chemicals and they're afraid.
They just freak out because they don't know, like whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's like if you could pronounce
hydrogen monoxide thing that went around, which is basically fucking water. Just
that was so great. Somebody did that, like, and saw how many people were afraid of it. Yeah, that was hilarious. But it's like, the whole, like, I can't pronounce the stuff on the back of the bottle. Like, how does pronunciation have anything to do with whether or not what you're taking it like works or not? It's just
FYI, this has dinosaur pee in it too.
Oh, okay. Well,
as a matter of fact, every time you drink water, you're drinking water that has been through the digestive systems of almost everybody on the planet, because your water goes through the whole water table cycle, right? There's the same amount of water on the planet today as there was at the beginning when all the water finished accumulating on the planet.
Huh.
Yeah.
I did not. I
Just
never
recycle
thought
system.
about it. That I mean, I've heard. Yeah, I understand that perspective. I never thought about it having gone through
Everyone's
everybody.
well, maybe you haven't like somebody like the outskirts of China or something that took a sip. You may not have had that water yet,
Right.
but I
Right.
guarantee you, like some
We'll
of
get
this
there.
went through Leonardo da Vinci.
Right. Hey. Wow, that's fascinating. That is
Bizarre to think
interesting to
of,
think
eh?
about. Yeah, that's really incredible.
The
I've
last
heard
sip
that
tasted like
argument a lot when it comes to the flood. Like there wasn't
oh
enough
yeah.
water. Which
Well,
makes
there
sense.
wasn't. There wasn't.
Yeah, to cover the mountaintops. No, yeah, I don't think so.
No.
I think you're
Not
right.
only that, people tend to forget that there's fresh and salt water, and if the two merge, then there's no more fresh water.
Right. Yeah, that's
Even
a
if the
good point.
water disappears, there's no more fresh water, and most of the life in the ocean would have gone bye bye.
Right.
Except for maybe jellyfish, but they can live through anything. They're like cockroaches of the ocean.
What if somebody?
Richards.
So let me do a pull a Kevin here and say, like play devil's advocate. What if somebody says, "But I've seen that spot, in the river, and this side over here is one color, and that side, and they never mix." So they can't
for you.
mix. Yeah, I actually really like that song. Yeah, that was really clever. It was
one.
cool to see all the bands covering linoleum. Yeah.
Linoleum. Yeah. That new spelling, that's great.
Yeah, that was clever. That was really fun. And even at Avenged Sevenfold, which I was like, Avenged Sevenfold is covered linoleum. That's wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Which I love Avenged Sevenfold. And they're quite different than NoFX, which is probably my favorite. So it's kind of interesting that they like each other.
Oh shit, man! I like all kinds of music myself, but when I was younger, I was pretty streamlined in my musical taste. It was all like classic metal, heavy metal, hard rock, that kind of stuff. And as you age, you get older, you start to realize the influences of that type of music, like blues and classical and shit like that. So that starts to bleed into your listening.
Oh yeah.
And it opens the door wide open, especially after working in a record store and hearing some of the shit like holy fucking shit. Like, wow,
right.
That's some skill and talent. And wow, look at that. Right.
Oh yeah. It's crazy how everything has its fingers and everything else. That's just so fast, especially in the rock genre. It seems like, and even now, like more, even in like the later like pop stuff that's coming out more recently, like everything's got its fingers and everything. Like it's just everybody's influenced by all sorts of shit, and I think half the time they don't even realize it. A lot of these artists,
that's
are,
true.
And it's it's super cool. I love a lot of the bluesy, the wah-wah pedal like solos and stuff that are going into like a lot of old rock and stuff.
Does that happen often, Chemo?
Gotta quit sleeping on the floor, man. You gotta,
It's when you roll out of bed and you're just too drunk to move.
Yeah, you can at least just get a sheet. Just get a sheet. You don't need a whole bed. Just put it on the kitchen floor, and that way it won't stick. I know. I've been there.
Troglodyte says, "Beat on skulls with bones. Good music."
There you go.
That's how it started, man. Victory songs, beating the drums, beating the skulls of your enemies that you took down. Right.
That's how the Misfits started. Just fun fact. Just found some skulls and we're just came together.
Regaining consciousness might be more accurate than waking up. Yeah.
Right. That's funny. There's no NoFX song called Regaining Unconsciousness. It's a great one. You should check it out.
I haven't actually listened to any NoFX for quite some time.
Oh, really? They're still making fucking records.
I know
man.
they are.
It's crazy. Yeah, they're
like,
still
fucking 100 and something albums now. It's like ridiculous.
I like all of it. It's different. Each one's different, and it's the time is very specific, and but it's all great. I love it.
Hi, Marie. Marie's watching from Twitch.
Hey, we're on Twitch too. This is crazy.
Yeah, we're on Twitch, Periscope, which is Twitter, and of course YouTube.
Nice. All right.
I used to air on Facebook, but fuck Facebook. And I was having issues with the link. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. they've apparently fixed it. But I'm like, fuck Facebook.
Like, no, you ruined it. You ruined it. Like we're not
Suck my
even
hairy balls, Facebook.
Exactly. No, that's cool.
Don't worry, I'll wax.
And then put it all over your face afterwards.
Yeah, just glue it on there and look like the facial hair, you 12-year-old asshole.
I swear, I just watched It's Always Sunny about that, where they like.
Oh yeah. I haven't watched
great.
a lot of that show, but I've seen that particular episode.
Okay, good. That's like the most punk rock show ever, dude. There's just a couple of punks that own a fucking bar. I love it.
Pretty much, yeah. It's funny as fuck though.
Hell yeah.
So what is it like now for you, now that you're clear and free of the religious nonsense? Like, how do your family and friends treat you now?
My friends are, a lot of them have kind of gone through, a lot of my friends have sort of gone through the same thing. They actually went through it a bit earlier than me. So it was actually quite a few of them were quite relieved, actually. They were like, oh man, I'm glad, man, because you were in it deep, dude. Whoa, I'm glad. I didn't think you were making it out, and so that was cool to get
wearing your religious hip waders, for fuck's sake. That's how
yeah, seriously, but my family, they struggle with it, I think, and I made sure, and depending how your family is, I got a lot of satisfaction out of doing this. I called each member of my family and had a personal conversation where I told them individually, like what, why I think this way and like why I'm not a Christian anymore and stuff like that. So I thought that was very helpful for me. I have a very it's a pretty cool family, to be completely honest. They're very chill, they seem to be pretty chill.
That's good.
And so like I could actually have these conversations with them without them flipping out, even my mom and dad. So that was actually pretty cool. And I think it was very helpful, honestly, for how it worked out. Like each one had their own disagreements and different logical fallacies they throw at me and me explain like why that's not, reasonable. And I waited for a long time to do it, to be completely honest. Like it took me, it was about a year and a half after I deconverted to do it, so that I knew exactly how I could talk to them about it. And so that, that was very important to me, to be able to counter anything I thought they might throw at me.
Sure.
In love, like not, I wasn't being a dick or anything like that, but I was just like, it's just saying, no, here's why that doesn't matter, and faith was a big one because they all use that one, which I like Matt Dillahunty's, faith is the excuse that you give when you don't have a good reason to think a thing. But I always say like faith is a Christian basically going, just do it. Just come on.
Faith. No,
tell me I'm right.
You don't need faith. No, you don't. Faith rarely ever takes you to a truth. So
no, it's just it's trying to get somebody else to agree with you without having good reason to agree with you. It's say, hey, right. you just have to have faith. In other words, just do it. Come on.
Then you get the angle. Although I don't really fucking these days, he's kind of been a little out there. But the Bogosian version, which is faith is like a virus.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bogosian's like gotten out there, but he turned supervillain real quick.
Yeah, and I had him scheduled for my show actually to come on and chat with me. Oh, and then he put out that tweet about trans stuff, and I was like, yeah, or it was about trans issues, but it was also about pronouns in your bio. So these are just angry people. I'm like, what? No, this is trying to normalize this shit, you fucking moron.
Right. Oh man, it's just
And I'm like,
and he did once he did the book with James Lindsay, I was like, holy, but no, I'm done.
Yeah.
Fucking what?
I canceled that show like that.
Right. Yeah.
Fuck you, Bogosian.
Yeah,
I still have his books,
awful.
and they're still useful, but fuck you, Bogosian. Like I can.
Yeah, a
I
lot
can
of his
separate,
tactics are great, honestly. I
Yeah.
hate that that's the truth, but it is the truth. His tactics are excellent. They are
Well,
really helpful.
You can separate the person from their work
Right.
as well, right? You can still find their work useful, but as the person that they seem to have become, same goes for like Dawkins too. Like the guy,
Yeah.
I won't even go there. But anyway, you
But no,
can still find use in their work that they have out there, and
Yeah.
just completely disregard the horseshit assholes that they become.
right. Yeah, because everybody's living out their lives and they become a certain way at a certain point, and what they've done up until that point is still what it is.
Sam Harris is another one too.
Oh God, yeah. It's like it seems like out of the four horsemen, what's
Dennis,
shit.
the fourth one. No, Hitchens is gone. So, but even
Yeah.
Hitchens had his little
That-
moments.
He had some moments, and he had some. I disagree with him on certain ways he framed things, but he's pleasant. I don't know. I like. He's probably my favorite.
A nameless figure. Hello. First time.
Hey,
in my
nameless
chat.
figure.
Welcome.
Nice to see you.
But yeah, I mean, Dennett's the only one that's kept his head on.
Yeah, it seems like it, right?
And his books blow me away, actually. Some of the stuff he talks about. Oh, God damn it.
Oh, shit. There's another one.
I know. Yeah, so anyways.
You got the hiccup. See, I'm fighting the hiccup. Like, if I get that, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to have to close my screen or something, because I hate.
What the hell? You now have a name, nameless figure. It's now CJW, whatever that means.
Oh, he changed it. Oh, because the emoji's the same. Or
the avatar.
Avatar, thank you. Not emoji. That was the wrong one.
The name is it is CJW.
Incorrect.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Well, welcome anyways.
Yeah. We appreciate you being here. But yeah, it was yeah. Forgot where we were going with that.
Well, we were just talking about how your family reacted and all that, and you were telling me about how you called them all personally, sort of thing, and had little conversations.
That's right. Dude, yeah. ADD's a motherfucker. So yeah, you're absolutely right. And alcohol. But
at least one of us is paying attention.
Thank you. Yeah, that's good. So 2 minds are better than one.
I'm sorry, who are
you? But yeah, no, it was great. And I still it's funny how my mom, like, I hang out with my mom quite a bit now. And it's funny how she'll be like, now this is just the way I see things. And it's really sweet, because I see that it's like a nice, sweet way to say, like, I get that you don't understand, you don't believe these things the same way I do, but here's what the way I see it,
Sure.
And she makes sure to frame it that way, because she knows that I'm going to be like, yeah, but that's not true. Whatever. Like, yeah, but there isn't any soul or ghost spirits or anything like that. So I think she's half like doing it for me, and then the other half doing it because I think she's starting to realize, like, hey, everybody doesn't think the way you do, and if you want to reach people, here's how you do it. You cross gaps.
That's a step, right?
Right? Yeah, and it's I don't know. It's actually been kind of cool to talk to them and stuff. My different family members and stuff. And I try to be super diplomatic. When I talk to people, I try not to be a dick. I was at first.
I'm finding that's getting harder and harder.
Right. Oh my God. Especially, with the whole Trump thing going on at the time,
Yeah.
That was the thing with my dad. Like, it was just like, really, man, really, like my dad, I feel like was the least one that caught on to reality. He was definitely as far away from, he was into the Illuminati and things like that. So it was, man, that was a tough conversation. But it was quite interesting though at the same time though, because I was like just there like a decade earlier. I don't know how he didn't get into the Illuminati until after I had already gotten out of it. How that didn't happen at the same time. But it was kind of fascinating because a lot of the things he was saying,
people take longer, we're slower, and
right. because I was like saying this stuff forever ago, and he was like, "Come on, Brett, now this is just silly." Okay. And then like what 10, 15 years later, now he's like, dude, it's under all control and everything. Okay. You don't even know. You don't get it, bro. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
no, you don't get it, Dad.
like that. Why would they put all their symbols and everything if they were actually trying to hide everything if they're so smart? Why would you do that? Like, just so that people like me could wait.
He's in all the gaps. You got it.
Hold on, I'm gonna get there in a second. I got a response for you.
All right, I want to know how you ended up, because we've only got a little under 10 minutes left here, and then we jump into the after party. But I want to kind of know how you got involved with Kevin and Serena with the Left at the Valley show.
Oh yeah. So we we did when pretty much as soon as I like admitted to myself that I was an atheist, because of the podcast and because of how helpful I thought the comedy was and all that stuff, I was like, I want to do a podcast. Like, I think this could really, like, I want to share my experience and like learn things. And since we're an interracial couple, me and Nikki, she was pretty much, and she has like, she's a political science major. Like, she just has all this knowledge about stuff that I have no idea about. So I was like, teach me about politics on the show, because we were doing it anyway. We were having these conversations in the living room all the time. So I was like, teach me this stuff on the show, and then hopefully that can help more people, because I'm getting a lot out of it. So I'm sure some other people could. And, I'm a dork and I'm silly and I try to have fun with it. And, and it ended up being a pretty good show. We released quite a few episodes, and I went on the Right to Reason podcast and did a few shows there. And he was like, dude, you got to talk to Kevin. You got to talk to Kevin at the Left of the Valley show. They're gonna, you got to get on that show. And so then we ended up getting on that show, and had a blast. They were just so much fun. The whole gang, Nancy and Kirsten and Kristen, everybody was just so fun. And I think we went on like maybe three or four times with our podcast. And I just became pretty good friends with Kevin. And we would just talk here and there every so often and everything. And their show kind of went down. They Nancy, unfortunately,
passed away.
Yeah, it was awful. I was so and I was like heartbroken from that. And because she was like one of my favorite parts of that show. She was so fun and just so good. And and it
really
ended.
was.
And and it went about a year. I want to say a year after the show ended. And it had
to be. I was scheduled to be on, and then Nancy passed away.
Oh no, really?
Oh yeah, and so it got canceled. And Kevin was unsure if they were going to keep going with it at the time. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool, dude. Just we'll work something out in the future. Let's take some time to what's the word I'm looking for?
Sort things out.
no, like bereave. What's the word?
To grieve.
Yeah, grieve. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, exactly. And So and then of course a year later, Kevin's like, "All right, we're going to do it again." So we scheduled, and I had him and Sabrina on the show.
Yeah, because I bust. You gotta get this show back, because it was one of my favorite shows. And I listen to it every week. It's an excellent show, and the interviews are always great. And so me and Robert and a bunch of other content creators were pushing him to do it. And he was like, "All right, fine, we're gonna do a reboot." And then he put out like, "Hey, I does anybody want to come on the I'm looking for folks to try out for the reboot." And I was like, dude, I'm already there. Like, it's like one of my favorite shows. So I'm absolutely here for it. And then they were like, yeah, man, like we did a couple practice shows, and they were like, yeah, you're in. And it was so cool, because like, that's an awesome thing to be to have a favorite, one of my favorite shows, and then get to be on it. It was really cool.
I felt the same way when I got to do some of the ACA shows, and now I'm like a regular co-host on the nonprofits, right? So,
that's so cool.
I know.
I love nonprofits.
I got to do Truth Wanted and Talk Heathen, and I still haven't done Atheist Experience. I'm sure. I'm not sure, but I'm hoping that someday Matt will ask me to pop in for an episode. It'd be fun to work with him on something.
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was fun having him on the show. We didn't, of course. He's told his deconversion story so many gazillion times that we decided to talk about the atheist community and things that have been going off and things that how we can make it better, that kind of thing. So.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah. Keep it
so we had that kind of conversation.
Nobody wants to say the same thing over and over. Like doing this here today. Like I haven't said my deconversion story in fucking forever. Like I'm trying to pretend that I've always been an atheist. And no, I get it though. No, that's super cool though, man. Yeah, you're on all the shows, man. That's great. Hell yeah. Got to get over on the line.
I like this. I like this. This is a good one from Skywatcher here. Faith, fantasy, and imagination that's harmful.
I can dig it.
I like that.
I can dig it. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'm going to put it up there again so that Tons of Mice can clip that right there so I don't forget about that.
Yeah. There you go.
On it there, Tons of Mice? All right. He'll clip it.
Okay.
And yes, Christian, and now I see the whole CJW. Yeah, it didn't even fucking dawn on me. Good to see you. Well, sort of. Good to see you in the chat. And fuck you.
That's a punk rock thing. Don't worry about it. We all say fuck you to each other. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. It's our term of endearment. It's the atheist way of saying, I love you.
Like, hey, fuck you, man.
Hey, fuck
cool.
You.
What are you doing here?
You're not the one. So I just I'm not sure if you are familiar with Miss Lemon, her channel on YouTube, where she does a lot of sciencey stuff and debunk stuff, and has some Q&As and stuff like that. She's very, very good. She's very, very fucking smart. Like I'm gonna feel like an idiot when she's on the show, but she has agreed to come on the show. She doesn't really know me from a hole in the wall either, right? I've just kind of been watching her channel for a couple of years almost now, I would say, and she's very, really, really good. And I just signed her up for the 21st of August.
Oh, nice. Okay. So, a little bit of time. Hey.
Yeah.
21st of August. Oh, yeah. So the end of the month.
So
okay.
That's next week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Next week.
Wow. It's going by.
Yeah. I know. Almost fucking fall. Jesus. And then I was watching that brittle, what the hell is he called? Brittle something or other, whatever. It was going on about, it's a clever little thing that he did. He goes, yeah, now we've been, it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. We got to get used to it now. Kind of sucks that pumpkin spice is all everywhere. Everyone's thinking he's talking about COVID.
Right. That's exactly. I was like, oh, it's got COVID. Oh, it's a pumpkin spice. Okay. That's great. I love it. It's a misdirect. That's what in comedy we call.
Yeah, that's comedy. Wow, man. Okay. I really have to start scheduling people again. I'm only scheduled up to next Saturday.
Shit.
All the rest of August open, and I've already opened up my schedule for the first half of September. So I got to start booking people, man. This is thanks. Tons of Mice. Tons of Mice clipped it, so I won't forget.
You got to get on that. Tons of people, man. Tons of good
recruitment trail.
Hey, I know some people. I'll throw them your way. How about that?
Sure, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Like Secular Soup, they're a lot of fun.
Cool, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that's why. What? What do you mean it's not? Fuck you! It's not compatible. I've been using it since I got the damn thing. You stupid fucking.
Now it's not compatible. Okay, it's
bullshit. It's working now. Tell me it's not compatible. You piece of food. Anyway.
God damn.
Goddamn coins all over the place today.
Wants me wasted.
Yeah, wait till the after party.
It's okay. It's mutual. I want it too. It's all right. It's okay. Keep going, coin.
I'm no longer work boss. Get back to being dead. What? I don't even know. Get back to being dead. I'm busy watching Neil's show. Oh, I see now. Ghost of Skywatcher's boss.
It took me a minute.
Yeah.
Several, actually. It took me several. That came up a minute ago.
I think one of the more embarrassing things that I've done before is asking people to come on the show. And, because I've had so many people on, sometimes I lose track of who's been on and who's not been on.
Oh.
And they're like, dude, I already did your show last year. I'm like, well, fuck, right. And then the memory comes flooding back in, and you're like, oh, shit.
I knew that. I was fine. I was testing you. You were just.
Yeah. Sorry. All right, that's enough. With the
I'm like that all the time. God damn. Oh well, I was taking a drink anyway. All right.
Yeah, you heard it, so it's cool.
I matched it. All
right. All right. Well, we have done the hour, my friend. So
we have. We're on 101.
I think we're going to wrap this sucker up now. So thanks everyone in the chat for hanging out with us. Hope you guys had at least a decent time hearing us banter back and forth. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thanks to my hang on, where is it? There it is. My patrons. You guys are awesome. Everything you do, it all helps. I love you guys. Thanks, and keep it up.
Give more money. Give more.
Of course, well, it only comes out once a month, so that's good. And I really my tiers are fairly low. They're like 1, 3, and 5. I think I don't go anything higher because
that's how we do it too.
It's little bits, and it all helps, right? And it does. It actually does help. So, anyways, there's a little ticker tape says there below. Don't forget that Randolph and I are starting our own call-in show eventually, once the studio is built. So you can head over to www.truenorthtalk.ca, and you can learn more about the show there. And it also has a link to the channel, so you can sub, so you can get that notification when we eventually go live.
Nice.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
And as mentioned, fun. Oh yeah, they are. And as mentioned earlier, I am one of the new co-hosts, along with some other really great people. The new revamped and relaunched Nonprofits, which is an ACA product that airs between Talk Heathen and the Atheist Experience on Sundays at 3 p.m. Central Time. And last but not least, on the last Saturday of every month, but apparently it didn't happen today. So, oh wait, because it's not the last Saturday, Neil. You fucking genius. Anyway,
we're in the middle.
Yeah, we're in the middle.
That's all.
I'm so confused. Anyway,
it's good. You're good.
It's a little show we do called Atheists Drinking Out Loud, and I do it with Andy, who's the Laughing in Disbelief channel, which you should definitely check out, and Seamus from the Free Thought Prophets. We get together. Yeah, we have usually have a guest with us. You never know when I'll come knocking on your PMs or DMs and ask you to join us for an episode. It's usually a couple hours of complete,
debauchery,
craziness. Yeah, debauchery, craziness, you name it. But they're a lot of fun to do. All right. Anyways, guys. So the last thing, of course, as I always say at the end of these shows. First of all, thanks again, Brentley, for joining me.
You bet. Anytime.
And like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time. Tango.